Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red with white, officially weighing in at 112 kilos. Since capturing Olympic gold in 2008, he has a perfect professional record consisting of 17 fights, 17 victories, including 12 knockouts. He now lives and trains in Miami, Florida, but comes to us by way of Havana, Cuba. Here is the WBC #1 ranked contender in the world, the undefeated La Sombra SOLIS. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with gold, official weight 113.2 kilos, 43 fights, 41 victories, including 38 knockouts, from Hamburg by way of Kiev, Ukraine, presenting the reigning, defending WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Dr. IRONFIST, Vitaly KLITSCHKO.
Huge reception for Klitschko. And now the referee, Lupi Garcia, who reffed Lennox Lewis against Oliver McCall the first time they fought. He now brings them forward for final instructions.
Gentlemen, as I leave you in the locker room, good luck, may the West and may the red win. Good luck. Okay, check the gloves and go to your corners.
Solis avoiding the steely glare of Vitaly Klitschko, the man with the brilliant amateur record. There's been money on him in the closing stages in the run-up to this fight. You could get a good price earlier in the week. Now he's being quoted at 7-2, with Klitschko 6-1 on. 33-1, they're quoting for the draw. The world heavyweight title fight here in Cologne, Klitschko against Solis. And the theory throughout the week is that Solis, Jim, have got to carry this fight to Klitschko and not allow the big man to settle into a rhythm.
Well, we know they must have a plan, but they must implement that plan as early as possible. Too many previous opponents want to have a look at Klitschko. They allow him to get into the driving seat to control the action, and they cannot shift him again. Klitschko just prodding as he usually does with that long jab. He just keeps his opponents on the end of that. Nice little short left hook from him there.
Tremendously confident as ever in the run-up to this, and for a man who's approaching 40, only George Foreman at 46 when he defended against Axel Schultz a decade and a half ago has been older as a defending champion than Klitschko, but just to look at him, he's in tremendous shape.
Yeah, and he lives a life. Everything about Vitaly Klitschko is discipline. The way he lives, the way he prepares, and the way he boxes. He doesn't really make mistakes. He's always been slow, he's always been a little bit clumsy, always been robotic. But he has never been beaten on merit, remember. The couple of losses are on injury. And he's claiming the centre of the ring straight away here.
And you know, those two losses against Chris Bird when he had a shoulder injury, and then against Lennox Lewis when he lost on cuts. On both occasions, he was ahead on the judges' scorecard. Solis tried to get in with that chopping right hand. It was only just off target.
Yeah, he's looking quick, Solis. He's doing the right thing. He's just trying to measure the range, then move in with punches, back out again.
Nice confident start from Klitschko, whose brother Vladimir, due to fight David Hay, is in the corner. Adam Booth, David Hay's trainer, among the people keeping a very close watch on this one at ringside. By the possibility that Hay, of course, at some stage could be facing the winner of this, and Klitschko had to take a decent right hand from Solis in that exchange.
Well, Solis must have been wondering as they came in tonight what it was like to face this giant. Now he knows, and he's actually fared reasonably well in the opening round. Constant movement, trying his own little shots here and there. Klitschko.
There's never been a Cuban heavyweight champion of the world. Jorge Luis Gonzalez got annihilated by Riddick Bowe back in 1995 when Carlos Gomez was defeated by Klitschko in the first defense after regaining the title. Solis has made this an interesting opening 3 minutes, though.
Yeah, but and it's kind of prodding punches Klitschko is throwing. And with the speed of Solis, once he finds a little bit of confidence, that right hand, it just caught him.
Oh, he's down! Right hand which did it, and Solis down in the opening round, closing seconds of the opening round. It was a sure right hand, and he's in a lot of trouble. He might not be able to continue here. He's all over the place. Referee having a close look at him, and the fight's all over. It's all over in the first round.
That was a beautiful, jolting little right hand, got him bang on the chin. Klitschko shouting at him here in a bad-tempered fashion. I thought he was going over to see, make sure he was okay. But he has an angry look on his face. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know that there's anger between the camps. I've never seen that from the Klitschkos before. They're renowned for their sportsmanship. But what a performance. The first chance he got, short little right hand, and it was all over. Tremendous punch.
Well, I think Klitschko thinks that he quit. He thinks he could have gone on, and he's angry. It's shades of the old Cassius Clay and Sonny Liston from 1965, the second fight, and he thought he could have gone on.
Well, OK, John, well, let's look at Solis's legs when he got himself back up again. If he could have carried on, if that was an act, then it's an Oscar he should be having, not the WBC belt, because his legs were all over the place. They would not support him. I don't believe he's taken a dive. There's nothing in the man's history to suggest he would. Obviously, Vitaly Klitschko is disappointed. We have 19 fans here I've got a show, but look at this. That is definitely not an act. It was a beautiful, jolting little punch. As soon as the punch landed, I spotted it. I knew it was a hurtful punch. I didn't know it was a finisher.
Well, trouble with the right knee. Let's watch it again from another angle. Solis, you can see, trying to force the pace in the last few seconds before the bell to end that first round, and down he went, and he hurt his leg in the process.
That punch, it caught him a little bit higher than I thought watching it live. It caught him in the temple, and it just seemed to rob him of all his senses. That was not an act. The man could not continue. There is no way, with the pedigree he has, the preparation, getting himself into the best shape he's been in his pro career, that he would do that. OK, Klitschko is disappointed. 19,000 people are probably disappointed, but you can't take away from Klitschko. Hung on to his title in dramatic fashion.
Well, the crowd don't like it. There's a lot of hoots of derision, boos reverberating around this huge state-of-the-art arena on the banks of the Rhine here in Cologne. Odlania Solis's dream, and he'd certainly talked the fights in the run-up to this, is well and truly over, and he cuts a disconsolate figure in that corner.
It was performing well up to that point, but you see, bang, it caught him high, and as soon as look at the legs, as soon as the punch landed, the left leg straightened out. It just took everything away from him. Look at him here, he cannot get off his back. He's lost the power of his legs. You know, it's jolted his brain and taken all the motor skills away from him. Look at that left leg. There is no acting here. He is gone here. When he goes onto his back, you see him trying to lift up onto a sitting position. He can't do it. There is no way whatsoever that was an act. We're all disappointed, but we no one more disappointed the first thing in the morning than Solis, that's for sure. We expected better, but there you are, another dominant performance from Vitaly Klitschko.
Well, boos all around this arena, and Klitschko, you could see when he went down, was an angry man. He'd prepared long and hard at his training camp in Austria, and he wanted a real fight. Charlie Giles acting as WBC inspector tonight, main man of the British Boxing Board of Control. And there's Vitaly Klitschko, still champion at the age of 39, celebrates his 40th birthday in July. But that is a very, very unsatisfactory, in some ways, end to this World Heavyweight Championship. We wanted to see...
John, they're actually bringing a stretcher along to ringside. I mean, it looks as though Solis has recovered OK, but they've actually brought a stretcher along to ringside.
The leg's injured.
They haven't tried to get him back up again, so maybe he's completely done a knee in or whatever. He's gone over because the left leg definitely straightened. He was badly hurt for that punch.
Right knee, we think, Jim. We think that's the one which has gone. That's Klitschko and his brother Vladimir, who's going to be fighting David Hay later this year. And there is Odlanier Solis, and a penny for those thoughts. All the dreams, all the hopes. He grew up with the usual idols. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. He craved his place as a heavyweight champion, or so he told us. But just listen to what this crowd think about it.
Yeah, and you can't blame them. We are all disappointed. So the Solis back onto his feet now, so I mean, you can see the look on his face. He is shattered.
La Sombra, the shadow. Well, he's certainly in the shadow of the big man on the far side of your picture, Vitaly Klitschko, and he's treading very, very gingerly indeed on that right leg. And I wonder where now for Odlanier Solis, a first professional defeat, and the crowd seeing the image you're seeing on the huge video screens above the ring. And almost to a man and woman, they are jeering.
Yeah, and you can't really blame them, John. It's a huge disappointment. We thought the possibility tonight he was going to have his toughest defence or his toughest fight since the Lennox-Lewis fight. This guy came with a pedigree. Okay, hadn't proven himself in the professional game. He didn't shine in his last fight, which was an eliminator for the title fight tonight. But we really expected so much from him. We expected him to bring the best out of Vitaly. Didn't happen.
Well, Vitaly Klitschko first won the WBO title, beating her behind in a couple of rounds back in 1999, and here 12 years later he is still WBC heavyweight champion, and we'll be hearing reaction before too long. Ahmet Erner, the promoter, is the man closest to you of Odlanier Solis. He too bitterly disappointed and believed that his man was destined to become champion, and I don't think tears are too far away now from the eyes of the defeated Cuban.
Yeah, I mean, he must be completely shattered. There is no way he got himself into this kind of condition, and the attitude he's shown all the way through the preparations for the fight, he wasn't going to come and give it his best shot, but the punch as it landed, it just seemed to take everything away from him. It caught him higher than I first believed, but it just seemed to scramble his senses, and the way he was trying to get from his backside, you know, into a sitting position, he just couldn't do it. It's as though all the power of his muscles had been taken away by the punch. Now his head will be as clear as a bell. The reality will be you know, slipping into him now, and he's devastated.
Well, he's going to be able to make his own way out of the ring. The stretcher has been taken away. Vladimir Klitschko had watched those hands being taped earlier on, safeguarding, he thought, the interests of his brother. But Vitaly Klitschko, he needed big fights, I think, to really get away from the tag of being a champion who in many ways has been unrecognised. He's been a very good champion, I think, and I think it would have taken one of the greats of the game to have emphatically defeated him. But to be a great champion, you need great fights. And with the exception of that fight against Lennox-Lewis, what now, some 7-8 years ago, it just hasn't happened.
No, I mean, both the Klitschkos that have been so far above the rest of the division. Thank heavens for David Hay. He's injected a little bit of interest in. But these guys are massive, they are athletes, and they are both very, very difficult to beat.
They're gutted in that corner, absolutely gutted, Jim. That's no act.
No, I didn't reckon it was an act. The way the leg straightened up when the punch landed, the way he couldn't get himself up off his back. It's as though, you know, all the muscles, you know, his nervous system had been shut down by the punch. It didn't look a tremendous punch, but it caught him on the temple, and it was over.
Officially at 3 minutes of round number 1. Referee Garcia rules the challenger unable to continue following the knockdown. The winner by KO victory, and still WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Dr. Eisenfaust, Vitaly Klitschko.